Managing nerves. This talk will give some ideas about managing nerves effectively. I'm going to start off with a quote from David Beckham's autobiography. I looked down at the ball before running up. It all went quiet. Everything was swirling around me, every nerve standing on edge. What's going on here? I can't breathe. I remember forcing 2 big gulps of air to try and steady myself and take control. For the last 2 penalties I'd taken for United, I'd hit the ball straight down the middle of the goal, and the keepers diving to one side had been nowhere near them. Same again now, David, I told myself. I was far too nervous to try and be clever. Not nervous for myself any longer. This was all about the team I was captain of. I've never felt such pressure before. I ran forward, and I kicked the ball goalwards as hard as I could. In. The roar. In. Nerves on match day can mess up an entire week's worth of training. There's just something about the pressure of playing under a crowd on live TV when points and even your position are at stake that can cause your nerves to go haywire. It's fair to say that some nervousness is good and can actually increase your performance levels, but too much nerves can make you go from hero to zero real quick. We experience nerves in 2 ways. One is by the thoughts we have, and the other is in the physical sensations we experience in our bodies. These include things like butterflies, nausea, sweaty palms, feeling tense, feeling weak, increased heart rate, shortness of breath, or even yawning. Most of these tend to dissipate once the whistle blows, and adrenaline gets pumping, and the player's mind gets so in the moment that the worrying thoughts that cause these physical symptoms to begin with, they fade away as well. The thoughts we have, or worry, is made up of negative images and negative self-talk. You might play short mental movies in your head of you messing up against a certain team. You might also be asking yourself questions like, will I be good today? Will I get subbed out? Will I get to play? Will we win? Will I have a shutout? Will I score a goal? You focus so much on the questions that you don't focus on the solutions. Get your mind used to focusing on solutions. Here are some examples of types of things players usually worry about. There's demand worries, the specifics of the challenge to be faced. So, like, the crowd here is big and intimidating. This team won the tournament last season. This team's offense is relentless. The surface has so many holes, I don't want to get an injury. There's ability worries. Do we or I have the skills or experience to cope? So their keeper is the best in the league. I hope I don't choke. Their forwards are too strong. I hope we don't get pushed around. I just don't play well with this ref. He's always out to get me. Or consequence worries. What do you think might happen if things go wrong? If I don't have a perfect game, I might lose my spot on the team. The team may blame me if we lose today. I could get re-injured with this wet pitch. So here are things you can say to yourself instead that are more helpful. For demand worries, you can tell yourself, I have prepared really well this week. This will be good practice for playing against an even bigger crowd. Bring it on. No team is 100% perfect. Let's be the first team to beat them in playoffs. We studied our tactics well. Now let's execute our plan. Take it 5 minutes at a time. Relax. Play together. Ability worries. I need to learn to play well no matter the ref. Our backline is great at communicating with each other. That will overcome the opponent's speed. The pitch may be wet, but the other team is playing on the same pitch. Game on. Consequence worries. Forget about the future, stay in the moment, and work, work, work. Worrying about whether I will get subbed is not helping me. Focus on what's in front. I've played in worse weather conditions. I'll be fine. Changing your thoughts. Here are some more unhelpful thoughts that players usually have and ways you can change them to be more helpful and beneficial to you. So change thoughts like, I can't believe I'm this nervous. This never happens to me. To being nervous just means my brain is telling me to switch on. Good. Or change, I hate these butterflies. They won't go away. To, this is fine. Just remember to breathe. They go away after the whistle blows. Or change, I'm going to have a terrible game if I feel this nervous. To this, everyone gets nervous. I'll be the poster child for having nerves of steel. Or change, the time is going so slowly, this pressure just seems to be lasting for hours. To this, I'll take control of the time and use it effectively. I'll do some visualization to focus me on the game. Change, I feel so restless. This is terrible. To, this is good. Once the whistle blows, I'll be like a rocket. Or, these nerves are draining me. Why can't I stop yawning? To, this always happens when there's a lot on the line. Just focus on doing my job and everything will be okay. So besides changing your thoughts, here's some other tools to help with nerves. There's this 3-step plan. Slow down, breathe, focus. Part 1, slow down. Slow down your movements and slow down your thoughts. When we are nervous or anxious, we tend to speed everything up. So intentionally slowing things down, even though it might feel like we are in slow motion, brings us back to normal speed. Part 2, breathe. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Make sure they come from the stomach. Inhale, count to 4, and exhale, count to 4. As you inhale, notice how your body and mind relaxes even more. Part 3, focused. Get your focus back into the present moment. Do something you have absolute control over, like adjust your shin guards or retie your shoes. This helps us forget all the extraneous mental garbage and helps us feel powerful. Make sure to practice this 3-step plan during training. That way, when it's time to use it during a match, it's automatic. You might use it when the clock is stopped for an injury or right before you take a free kick.